Welcome to Orange County Power Players, where we spotlight the personal, professional, and financial success stories of OC's top leaders. Here's your host, Danny Flores.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Danny Flores with OC Power Players, and today's guest is Grant Johnson. Grant is a results-driven 6X CMO with a proven track record, growing revenue up to 10X and 7 successful exits. Grant drives transformational change and delivers consistent growth. A trusted leader with exceptional interpersonal and communication skills. He builds, mentors, and retains high-performance teams that exceed corporate goals. A full-stack ROI marketer with deep expertise in all functional areas. He quickly assesses staff and raises marketing performance. Welcome to the show, Grant.
Danny, it's great to be here, and hopefully our conversation will live up to the bio that you shared with the audience.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a big bang that you bring to the table here. So tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got there.
Yeah, I'm happy to share. I'm a fractional CMO or Chief Marketing Officer. I've been fortunate that I've had companies, as you noted, acquired 7 times. I've acquired 21 companies. I've scaled companies from, little startups to billion-dollar public companies. And what I really like doing is helping companies grow, whether they're stuck on growth, they want to grow faster. These days, everybody wants to grow more efficiently, more cost-effectively. I come in along with other chief outsiders. That's the name of the firm I'm part of. There's 125 chief sales, chief marketing officers with diverse backgrounds in everything from B2B to B2C to B2C to B or whatever. And we can help companies grow. We're brought in generally when companies get stuck somewhere they haven't been able to realize the CEO, founder, or investor's vision. And we can turn that vision into reality faster because we are all sort of battle-tested veterans. As you described my background, there's 124 more with expertise in something like mine. And right now I'm helping a hyperscaler AI company help bring innovation to market faster for their customers. And any given week, we could be helping companies from A to Z. And that's what we do. We love making big things happen here at Chief Outsiders.
So now, as a CMO, you're concentrating more on the marketing, the sales, bringing in the clients. How do these companies grow so fast on the back end? Because you have that danger of growing too fast and then you lose control after all that good work of bringing in clients.
Right. Well, for B2B, which is my area of focus, what we do is we have a methodology. It's based on our founder's book, Growth Gears. Pete Hayes and Art Saxby wrote this book several years ago. And we quickly assess the current situation and gather insights about, as you mentioned, and the customers, the company, the competitors. And then we help them formulate or enhance their strategy, their product, their positioning, their messaging, their pricing, their promotion. And then it's all about execution so that we can deploy better go-to-market tactics, as you mentioned, Danny, for sales and marketing, so that cohesively we can be a flying formation, a unified team that is able to serve customers better than competition and outpace the market and grow successfully.
Now, I would imagine that you guys aren't the only fractional CMOs out there. What makes you different and better in this space?
Yeah, it's a great question, Danny. There's a lot of companies and anybody can hang their own shingle and call themselves a fractional. We have a very stringent vetting process. Only 1 in 20 people who will apply to Chief Outsiders is ever hired. And many people don't even get through the first step of the process. So our team is distinguished by a couple things. First of all, we've all worked at scale. So we've taken company from startup to some liquidity event, IPO acquisition. Many of us have worked for Fortune 100 companies. I've been part of companies that have been acquired by Microsoft and IBM. You might have heard of them. And
Right.
But we also have a very client-focused methodology, and we leverage the power of the tribe. If you think about it, when you hire Grant Johnson, you hire 99 other experts in marketing or
Mhm.
dozens of experts in sales because we do peer reviews. So we take what we're working with a client, we bring in other experts and say, what do you think of this strategy? So before it goes to market, you have a
Mhm.
bunch of other bright, experienced, seasoned, savvy folks that are looking at your strategy, your tactics, and say, hey, we could do this, or how about that? We could do better.
Mhm.
And then we're also distinguished by, having some really good tech. I can't disclose it because we're going to announce something next month, but just imagine AI, and we really know how to deploy the best Gen AI tools, the best ways to accelerate success in the market.
That's awesome. And that makes you guys so valuable. And just your history speaks for itself, right? Now,
Let me just mention, because you brought up one thing I forgot to note is since in the last dozen years, we've helped 2,000 companies, 5,000 projects. So repeat business, as you might imagine. We have a
right.
lot of success stories, a lot of case studies, and they're all available on our website at Chief Outsiders.
Wow. No, that's amazing. That's amazing. Now, when you guys hire, do you guys ever bring in like kids coming out of college and train them, or do you just want battle tested people?
No, it's a question is part of sort of the broader solution strategy is the operators. I don't think gray hair is required. I've got some, but
Yeah.
the operators have to have a couple decades of experience, right? Because we're helping CEOs, first time, serial entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
They want to have a trusted resource. We come in on a fractional basis. We're part of their extended management team,
Mhm. Mhm.
and they want to know that we're proven and that the odds of success are very high. And so while we have extended teams on the execution side that could be, like you say, kids coming out of college, interns that become employees, we support the entire ecosystem that helps a company grow. The
Right.
actual chief outsiders have to be veterans.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Now, what comes easy to you and your team that others might find challenging?
Well, I think the thing that's probably easiest for us is that you're sort of at a point in our career where all we want to do is help companies grow. We don't have egos. We check our egos at the door. We're not trying to get, accolades. I've co-written books. I've written 50 blogs. I've created a marketing performance diagnostic that is well regarded. But I'm about helping the client. So we listen well. We have two ears and one mouth. So we try to make the ears work better. We
Mm-hmm.
really try to understand quickly what's the problem, what's getting in the way of growth, what sort of strategies have you not considered, what sort of tactics could you bring to bear that are more modern ways of generating profitable growth, recurring revenues. And so I just think it's our experience, our savvy, and our pragmatic approach to doing what we know will work or has at least a very high success rate.
Right. No, no, thanks for that. Now, because you've seen so many companies, is there a common denominator for an entrepreneur that comes in, starts up his business, well, maybe hasn't exited any time, but has this vision and this dream and grows up to a certain point and it kind of gets stuck? Um, what is that the case with many of them? And what causes that? What do they have to open in their mind to be able to continue to the next level or next 10x levels?
Yeah. Another great question, Danny. I think there's no one answer to that. It's always, it depends. It's always the particular market,
Mm-hmm.
their product, whether it's B2B or B2C, their competitors, the opportunity. But I will say there's some common things that we observe in
Mm-hmm.
companies, and I've observed in my own career. First of all, like you say, you've got to get past the boot up stage and the product market fit, and prove that you are meeting a critically unmet need in the marketplace, and you're
Mm-hmm.
doing something in an innovative way that's better, cheaper, faster, right, or just delivers a better outcome for your customers. And what happens is companies they get stuck for a variety of reasons. One could be that somebody else came up with a better mousetrap and you have to innovate again. It's often because that their management team has not grown with the company. Some people are able to grow from one stage of growth, let's say seed to Series A to Series B. Some are able to grow to pre-IPO, and some can grow it once it's public. But a lot of times people have a comfort zone, and that's fine. They like a certain size of company, a certain market space, and so they get stuck. So when you bring in outside experts, trusted advisors like chief outsiders, we can quickly say, well, have you thought about this? You might want to try to go left instead of right. Consider a different go-to-market, a different partner, a different strategy that'll help you return to growth. And it really takes an objective, open-minded CEO, founder, executive to say, hey, insanity is doing something the same way and expecting a different result. And we might want to try something different.
Right.
And, we're one of those resources, trusted advisors that come in and can, help stimulate a new way of approaching the challenge so you can get back to growth.
And does that sometimes entail, because I know sometimes as a founder, your first hires are they're like loyal to you, but they kind of constrict your growth sometimes because they don't grow and they don't have the same vision you do. Does it take sometimes you might have to change personnel and, as tough as it may be, it is what it is kind of a thing?
Yeah, we don't get involved with, so if it's investor owned or controlled, PE, VC, private investors, that's their decision if they want to, move the founder to a different role. They might be, chairman emeritus and bring in a different background for their CEO or their president. But what we often do is we're brought in for a few months to several months, and we're part of the extended management team, and we'll help define not only the growth strategy, but what's the profile of success to it so that it can be sustained. And we'll help write the script, we'll help interview the candidates. And often, let's say after 6 months of helping generate the growth and sustainability, we'll say, okay, we're happy. If you're happy, let's bring this person on board. We're fractional, meaning we don't intend to be there forever. We intend for a defined project, a defined period of time. But we'll stay on as an advisor to the CEO to say, look, we'll make sure we'll keep coaching up whoever you hire or other executives, and we'll provide our objective opinion on each of your progress milestones and continue to add value like a board member, or a board advisor. We'll continue on. But generally, it's for a period of time that we come in, bolster the team, expand the market aperture, and help deliver growth. But then somebody's going to run it on a long-term basis, day to day. There are times where chief outsiders asked to come become full-time again, and that's the decision they and the company and chief outsiders makes. But generally, we're a fractional executive as a service resource.
Right. So now if somebody's listening to us and they like this type of a business, whether it's fractional, they want a full-time CMO job, what would you suggest is a good way to get into business, or if they're in it, to even get better at what they're doing now?
Well, I think if they were looking to kind of grow their business, they go to chiefoutsiders.com and they look at our roster of 125 execs and, hey, this person could help me. Or they look at case studies and they say, can we talk? And so we'll do what we call a discovery call. If you happen to be, as you say, the other half of that coin, if you're a fractional person, individual organization, and you're trying to get better, I think it's really important to have peers. Have your clients give you feedback, have other peers that give you feedback. I've actually mentored more than 20 C-level executives. I'm currently mentoring a CEO and a CMO because I've seen so much business growth, change, and transformation. I'm able to provide that objective experience perspective. And so I'll help other people at maybe a half hour a week or an hour every 2 weeks. And you always good to have coaches. I'm a competitive tennis player. I played at the national level at, my group in my 4.0 level. And I have coaches, and I've had several coaches over the years because somebody can teach you this, somebody else can teach you that. So I have a site that I put my mentoring blog, CMO Mentor, kind of simple. Surprising that name was available, so I took it. There's CEO mentors. I've done CEOs as well. And so, that's what I think. You just have to up your game. You have to have the desire to continually learn and grow. And that's been my way, my DNA since I, first started in business.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. So what have been some of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome in your career to get where you're at now?
Yeah, I've had a lot of them. I think, the first challenge is sort of the individual one where you have to get a 360. If you aspire, look, I knew I wanted to be in marketing, and I knew I wanted to run a marketing organization and run a business unit as a general manager. And I did those two things, right? It took me years and years, but, early on in my career, I wasn't actually having the success I wanted at a particular company. And, my supervisor, he was an SVP of sales and marketing. I was in the marketing side. I said, you're not proactive enough. You're not bringing enough ideas to the table. And I had it in my head, but I was like, I wasn't willing to take the risk of what if the idea was shot down. You have to take risks. They have to be calculated risks, and you have to rapidly innovate, iterate. Try it. If it fails, fail fast and try something else. And I'm continually pushing the envelope with myself, my team. So I think that was a big lesson. And another lesson, and I think a lot of us experience this, it used to be before this inflation flared up a few years ago, especially those working with, investor funded growth oriented companies, it was growth at any cost. That's gone. It's profitable growth. And so you have to shift your mindset. It's like, if something's going to get you growth, but it's not going to have a great ROI, you can't do it anymore. You've got to have ROI first. I call it the ROI of everything from marketing and sales and marketing investment. You've got to drive efficiencies. You've got to continually improve. So I think that's kind of the other lesson is you got to pay attention to what the market needs, what the investors require, and pivot to that if you're not already doing it.
Yeah, no, thanks so much. That's like really good information. It's just, you can't stay still. You got to keep moving. Everything moves so darn fast nowadays. It's hard to keep up, but you have to do it. Now, looks like your business and everything you've done is going really well. Congratulations on that. Now, business owners such as yourself sometimes look for other ways to generate income passively outside of their regular business, either to set themselves up for retirement or perhaps additional income for their families. What are your thoughts on that?
Look, I think everybody should carve their own path, create their own future. And if they have opportunities for passive income, whether it's, through real estate or investments or franchises or whatever it might be, I think that's fine. As I say, I've been fortunate. I've worked hard and I've had several liquidity events, and I invest wisely with a trusted advisor, plus my own insights. And but I think that's smart. The people, they've heard the side hustle, and I think those are all intelligent approaches to diversify your income, reduce the risk of look, everybody I know at some point has been out of work, whether they're choosing or the company's choosing, and so it's good to have that, as you say, Danny. Have other alternative income ideas. I'm not an expert in how to do that, so don't please. Let's not pursue that, but there are many experts out there that can help you do that.
Right. And like you said, and I also believe that it's great to diversify because you don't have all your eggs in one basket. So that's, creating extra income streams never hurts, right?
Right.
Now, as we wrap up our interview, what does 2025 look like for you?
I think 2025 is a year that AI gets down to business. I mean, there's been tons of hype the last couple of years. There's been tons of funding, but the real business models, the real winners in this marketplace are going to get real customers, generate revenue, solve problems better, faster, more efficiently, accelerate innovation, if you will. And it's not going to be 25 and, one and done. But there was so much hype in the first year that, just like if you remember back in the .com became the .bomb days around the turn of the century, and you didn't have to have a good business model. You've got to have a good business model. You've got to have a good team. You got to have all the capabilities of a real enterprise that can grow in a sustained fashion. But I think this is year AI is going to come into its own, and we're going to see a lot more applications get traction.
Yeah, and that's like for the audience is like, if you're not on that wagon with the AI, figure it out and get on it, because then you get left in the dust, basically.
Yeah, I just like with tech, there's always something new, and so you got to keep improving your skills and learning new tools. And as you say, there will be jobs displaced, but there'll be prompt engineers and many other jobs created. And if you stay tuned to the market, ear to the ground, and communicate, collaborate, and network, and you can learn and adapt. And I think really that's certainly been the hallmark of my career. I mean, early in my career, I was in hardware, and then software, and then now software as a service, SaaS. And if I just stayed in hardware where the margins are kind of tough, I might be struggling a lot more, right? So I just I could see what was changing. And literally in 2000, I've been doing SaaS 20 years. And I think this is it. I think the Salesforce thing is real. I think they're going to become a really big company.
Right on. Congratulations. And all right, Grant. Well, thanks so much for joining us today and sharing your insights and tips on your business and what you do. Now, if somebody that's watching and wants to get a hold of us, or hold of you, actually, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, they can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm Grant E. Johnson 1 at LinkedIn. I'm Grant E. Johnson 1 at Gmail, and I'm G Johnson at Chief Outsider. So feel free to contact me any of those three ways, and I'll try to respond best I can.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for taking the time and sharing your endeavors and your thoughts. Thank you for joining us.
Danny, it was a true pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Very good.
Thanks for listening to Orange County Power Players. Want to share your success story? Apply to be a guest at ocpowerplayers.com/guest.